Joining us now is Hamilton Grant. He's actually a community leader here. And what probed us to even contact you, I actually saw your Facebook status the other day. As details are unfolding in this case, we were talking about some of the many eerie details. That includes the list of churches that Dylann Roof hand wrote out, and your status kind of touched on that. Can you?
Yeah, sure. When the list, I guess, was made public and available, one of the churches actually on the list with operation hours and addresses was my church, Bethel AME, here in Columbia. And it's very, as you say, eerie and scary because this literally could have been any church. That same night on June 17th, we actually had a service where our guest revivalist was Reverend Dr. Jeremiah Wright, who's President Obama's former pastor. And so this really could have happened anywhere, and just to see the place where you worship every Sunday, where you give your talents and time to on that list was very eerie.
Absolutely. And you know, I know that you share a very close relationship with several people at Mother Emanuel, and one thing that we were talking about is how they have to live this out every single day since last year.
Right, yeah. I think sometimes we often miss that point in how people have to live out this not only in the courtroom, but also on TV when they leave the courtroom. I guess the images from the past year, just not with this situation, but with lots of situations of mass shootings and mass tragedies, we become insensitive to what actually happens. If you've ever lost a loved one or someone close to you, you know that's a very traumatic experience. Now take that experience and multiply it by 100 because you see it on TV, and then you have to live it out in the courtroom with the details you may not have known about. For some of these families, the last time they saw their family member alive was on TV. And so to relive that each and every day is heartbreaking and hard. But you have to, I just admire those families so much with their faith and with their courage, because even after something horrible like that, they still found it in their heart to forgive. And I think we can all learn a lesson from that in their faith and in their walk with Christ.
Absolutely, and that was one of the main things everyone was talking about as soon as, you know, a few days after he was captured, and then you had some of the family members inside of the courtroom where they were forgiving him and kind of crying and, you know, saying that's a part of our faith. And I think that was what the AME Church taught them, was to forgive.
Right, and I think it just adds on, and like you said, their faith, because some of those family members went into the courtroom with the intention to say absolutely nothing. So the fact that they did say something, number one, and to the multitude of what they said, just lets you know there's something higher above them or above anything that was happening in that situation that gave them that power, and that was the power from God.
Something else that we were talking about, let's rewind to the very beginning of the trial. On the first day, Dylann Roof's mom had a heart attack. Initial reactions?
It's sad and unfortunate because we don't like to focus on it for I guess obvious reasons, but those families on that side are dealing with it just as hard as the families of the victims. They didn't ask for any of this. I'm sure they tried to raise their child, their grandchild, in a very memorable way. And just the actions of one person can destroy so many lives that people have to live with each and every day.
And you have, again, like I said, people that are very close to you at the church that are actually having to travel each and every day to see how the trial will unfold. What are you guys going to be doing until then? Is it just waiting and praying and hoping for the best?
Yeah, it's a waiting game. The prayers definitely help, especially as we enter the Christmas season, because here it is, yet another holiday. These families are without their beloved family members for a lot, if not all of these families. The people that were lost were pillars in their family, and so to not have them is just another reminder, and then to not have them and have this spotlight and this platform that they didn't ask for during this hard and difficult time, especially with the trial and details coming out, is just something very difficult to go through. So I'm sure, as with you and with all the viewers, the prayers going to the families, and definitely the condolences, because they definitely go through a lot, and just the bravery and the courage that these people face and exude every day is just amazing.
Thank you so much for joining us,
Thank
Hamilton.
You. Thank you.